Russians has got. And we're live. Welcome to another episode of Not Mainstream, May 26, 2017. Really big news this week and some horrific news. And we're going to start off with the whole Manchester arena bombing that occurred in Manchester, the UK and the United Kingdom. And it was an unfortunate attack that should have never happened in the first place. It could have been prevented.
Yeah. It was very sad.
Very sad.
22 people, including several children, were killed. I mean, they were attending an Ariana Grande concert, and there was video. All of a sudden, you hear this boom, you hear this loud boom.
Yeah.
Some of these conspiracy theorists are saying, "Well, we don't see any videos of the explosions." I'm like, "Are you kidding me here?"
Yeah, I mean, there was video, and a lot of, I think over 20-some people got injured. I think 1 or 2, maybe 3 was killed.
2 were killed, and
2.
I'm not sure how many injured.
No, I heard it. The last I heard, it was like over 20.
Yeah.
But will this open the eyes up with the Europeans across Europe? Will this be an eye opener for them?
Well, I know Theresa May was quick to condemn it, and she's got armed soldiers out in the streets. You know, she's got armed soldiers, keeping an eye on things.
Basically, they're under what I call martial law. I mean, in the streets never happened. Well,
everybody's on alert now.
Yeah, what was that? Go ahead.
She said something about everybody's on alert.
Yeah.
And of course, the fake news, they could not help themselves. They tried to say, well, Trump must have had something to do with it. What was he doing overseas? Well, let's see. There were terror attacks, in other places when Obama was overseas. You didn't say anything about him, now did you?
And that guy was what, from Libya?
His parents were Libyan refugees. And I think he was born there. I could be wrong, but I think he was born there.
No, he was born there in Manchester area,
but his father,
I think he still went back.
His father and brother, they were nice, and his father and brother, I think, was arrested among the people that was arrested back.
Yeah.
But oh, what was that?
You?
One on my end.
It was. I was trying to get on the live chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I hope, and I really hope that this is an eye opener for them. They really need to basically not take in any more refugees, because they're all, they're overcapacitated on refugees right now. That'd be one way to stop this. Another way is to basically deport the refugees that's already came in. That's my take on this. What is your guys' take, and how can they this from ever happen again, or at least try to prevent it?
Well, they need stronger leadership, I can tell you that much. I mean, especially in Germany. Merkel is just, she's horrible.
Oh yeah, she's refugee crazy.
I don't think they'll ever be able to stop this. This is something that has been started. It's going to be very, very hard now to stop any of this radicalism, because it's gotten a foothold in so many different places. there are sleepers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they are going to come out of the woodwork now, especially
Mhm.
since ISIS has already stated that with us, United States
Mhm.
is on the chopping block for them. And I mean, look at how many times they've hit Egypt. It's just going to go on and on and on. And
Mhm.
it's going to take some pretty powerful moves to try to eliminate or hurt them because of how they've infiltrated the world already.
Yeah.
I think the damage has been done, unfortunately, and we are just going to have to be on our toes, step up security. Um, think of the damage that bomber would have done had he been able to get into the arena,
Oh
Mhm.
God.
setting it off in the foyer or whatever area they're calling it outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, but according to Katy Perry, we must have no barriers. We must have we must have no borders. We all must coexist. Oh, Katy Perry,
Oh,
she wants
because
to.
everybody knows that Katy Perry is really smart about this stuff. I mean, come on, give me a break. What would have happened if that was a Katy Perry concert, or any other person's concert? I mean, I would never thought in a million years I would have seen this play out like a Hollywood movie, because this is something that Hollywood movies would do. That I never thought I would see this, but it's getting to the point where it's just not surprising anymore. It's not shocking anymore.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. I mean, and that's unfortunate that it's not
Hmm.
shocking either.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it's not shocking. It should be shocking, but it's not.
Hmm. I mean, as soon as I hear terrorist attacks on Facebook, I immediately on the news and on Facebook and on Twitter, I immediately go on Facebook and say, well, another terrorist attack again, and I post something earlier today about you don't hear any of these modern progressive Muslims disavowing any of this. I mean, imagine if it was a Christian terrorist. I mean, they would immediately disavow this. Or if it was a Jewish terrorist, they would immediately disavow this. But you don't hear or see, or at least I don't, of any Muslim, any moderate Muslim, or any progressive Muslim, or any types of those Muslims disavowing any types of attacks like this.
I had not heard it or seen it
And
either.
you don't hear the mainstream media saying, well, why don't these modern Muslims disavow stuff like this? Why don't they say we're not like that? They're separated from us.
Yeah, you don't hear it. You don't see it. You know,
Hmm.
you,
I
you,
mean,
you don't. You don't.
yeah, go ahead.
It's
and you
unfortunate that
won't.
you don't.
You won't.
Yeah.
You won't hear them disavow their religion because that's what they're all made it into, religious thing when it's
Hmm.
really not. It's
Yeah,
they
it's
are
become a holy
honest. They
war.
are using that religion in the name of their agenda, and
Hmm.
it's no different if there was Christians that had a Christian that was going and doing something bad. It doesn't make all the Christians bad, but
Hmm.
people are just lumping them into one big, or trying to make Trump lump them all into one. All the Muslims, he knows uh, that, for goodness sakes, they mixed up a Sikh with a Muslim,
Yeah, I mean, I saw that on that
you know, because
Cosmo
he wears
magazine.
a headscarf
Hmm.
or whatever they call theirs. You know, it's ridiculous. People are speaking before they even have knowledge.
Hmm.
They're making
Well,
facts, and
there's
people are
yeah.
reading it, and because it's coming from the internet,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
take a piece of information and say, wow, is that real? And go and cross-check that
Mm-hmm.
information.
Well, I think there's a
And
saying that applies here. Not all Muslims are terrorists, but most terrorists are Muslim.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And,
that would be more acceptable.
to expand on this, the ones who I think that don't disavow this stuff is because they're scared. Because if they disavow something, the extremist Muslim is going to turn on them and say, "Well, you've turned on our religion," and they'll be out basically to kill for it.
There are entire neighborhoods in all these in all our large cities, all of UK's large cities, all over Germany, that have nothing but, you know, Muslim neighborhoods, or and they can't even control their own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Who occupies? But they need to come forward when they hear, you know, something that's not right,
Mm-hmm.
forward with information, because you know they're hiding. They're just, they're not telling. They're not going to somebody and saying, hey, you know, my neighbor seen him bring in a bunch of fertilizer the other day and he doesn't have a yard. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they're not talking about these things.
But that's because the mainstream media has pumped this scare to everybody that if you profile anyone, you're a racist. If you try and to stop this, you're Islamophobe. I mean, they're scaring the people into not reporting this stuff. And just like with San Bernardino, people saw the bombs and all that, and they didn't report it because they didn't want to feel like they were racist or Islamophobe. And it's gotten to the point where it's either A, do you want to be called a racist or Islamophobe and let something bad happen, or B, you know, report this stuff and stop it right then and there.
There need to be people that are braver, and they need to speak out, and that's the whole problem. They're not speaking out, but yet they want to be perceived as peaceful. But when you have the moderates who don't commit the terrorist acts not saying anything,
well, they're afraid to speak out.
It casts a very bad light on the entire religion. I'm sorry, it does. It just casts a bad light on even the good ones. It casts a bad light on.
It does, you know, because that's what everybody wants to believe, you know, and especially those who already at far right, say, who maybe are a little racist, you know, they're gonna really feed the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then it goes both ways. Makes, you know, Trump look bad. You know, think about all the white supremacists out there who are supporting him, and they're giving the image that, you know, oh, Trump supports us, da 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 da. So he thinks that, okay, Trump is with them. You know, he does support all of these supremacists and, you know, whatever group is out there against African Americans and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unending battle. You know,
Yeah.
everybody wants to be right. I just don't see this going away anytime soon. But this terrorist thing, it unfortunately it's going to be bad. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, and it is pretty scary.
Mm-hmm. It is.
For our kids, it's scary for our future. You know, I'm a person who loves to travel. Henry, you travel all over the place. You can't tell me that you're not in an airport and don't think twice about who's sitting next to you, you know? you can't do anything anymore without being afraid.
Hey, Lale.
Hi,
Welcome,
guys.
Lyle. We're talking about
Hi.
the Manchester bombing.
Hi. I was thinking about in the last few days, Nikki, I needed to just check in with you and ask you how you were. How's that
Oh
go?
yeah, I'm good.
That's cool. Yeah, I have listened to you all a little bit on and off the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and I agree, Edith. I agree, and it's in a lot of different pieces and parts of society. A few bad ones make it hard for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And but I just I know who was it, Henry, that said the all Muslims are not terrorists, but most terrorists are Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then you have just self-radicalized, like the Timothy
yeah,
McVeigh, the Unabomber, or they weren't Muslim. Consider them terrorists.
oh yes, I agree
So
too.
Mhm.
there's all different kinds of badness in the world, and seems like it's been bubbling up a lot. And I don't know. I don't know if Trump can get everybody on board, but he really does. I think he's done a great job, though, talking to everybody. Of course, the media wants to make every little thing he does an issue, but
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely get into that later on.
Oh,
But
yeah.
continuing on, just earlier today, ship bust attack. Gunman kills more than 20. An attack on Copiatic Christians. An attack on a bus carrying Copiatic Christians in Egypt on Friday killed 28 and wounded at least 27 others. Let's see here. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, but a number of recent attacks on Egyptian Christian minority has been claimed by the Islamic State group. ISIS. I mean, that's the only people out there that does this is ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, ISIS and all the connected other little cells that have their other different, Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. Well, that's kind of the big
Yeah.
wigs, but so many different cells of Muslim terrorists now, and I'm sorry, but there are, and everybody needs to accept that fact and start fighting it, because their only goal is to take over the world and make it Muslim. That's the bottom line. And yes, there are moderates, but you know what I'm saying. That's the bottom line. And we have to accept that, look at it, and figure out how to deal with it. 1,500 years ago, and we've talked about this before. People talking, oh, how many Muslims were killed in the Crusades? The Crusades they weren't going out to kill Muslims. They were fighting the Muslims off 1,500 years ago, and it's still going on. And that's my little, and you all go ahead.
Oh no, you're great. Yeah, I mean it's a holy war that's brewing between Muslims, Christians, Jews, any other religion you can think of. It's a holy war that's brewing, and it's not, and it's been like this for ages and decades and years, and it's not going to get any better. And I actually commend Trump actually trying to want peace with the Israels and the Palestinians, because that war has been going on for centuries.
It's not gonna stop either. They're stuck so close together, and they are neither one
Not-
giving up their what they
Excuse
feel
me.
theirs. But if they could calm it down, make some sense, some barrier, some separation. I don't know if that's possible though.
You know
Well, I
what?
was gonna
They
say.
all need to be made to take one of those DNA test things. And when it comes back that they're from the other side, maybe they'll realize that they're all from the same area.
Well,
You
exactly.
know?
But then there's the Abraham in the Old Testament where one son went and the other son went, and that's where the divide came.
Mhm.
Was it Ishmael and who was it? Oh, I know. Abraham's two sons.
Mhm.
And one stole the birthright. And that's where it all came from. I'll look it up. I'll look it up and we'll talk about it next week.
Sounds
And
good. Go
speaking
ahead,
on the
Eric.
war between Israel and Palestine, 9 times out of 10, it's the Palestinians who are the aggressors.
Darn right.
You know, the
What about
Israelites just want everything to be peaceful, and you have the freaking Palestinians who want to start some shit. You know, just it's ridiculous.
And I've heard
Yeah, I
a
don't.
saying you want. Go ahead. Go ahead, Shane.
I was just saying that I don't understand why people is hating on.
uh-oh.
You free hating on who?
I think you froze.
Yeah.
And
The thing I was gonna say was, I've heard it said if you take all the guns away from Palestine, there would be peace. If you take all the guns away from Israel, there would be no Israel.
Mm-hmm. Shane,
you
you're
How
talking
about
about.
now?
Yeah,
in re-
we can hear you now. You were frozen up there for a second.
All right. Somebody is attacking me for some reason. I was saying that I don't understand why people is hating on Israel. I mean, Israel hasn't done anything,
No.
anything to us, anything to anybody else.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Well, you're going to have the fake news media. The fake news media says, well, Israel is doing this and Israel is doing that. It's all fake
Go ahead,
news,
Henry.
of course.
Israel is doing
Yeah.
nothing but protecting itself when it has to.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this self-defense. But any last comments and thoughts about the Manchester and where? I'm going to say, unfortunately, there's going to be more to come. Unfortunately.
Did they ever find the missing people? And they said there were some people who were missing after that happened.
I haven't heard. Nikki, did you hear?
most of them were reunited with their families, and those that
Good.
weren't turned up to be those that perished. So,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the people in the area opened their homes up to a lot of those kids who were scared and running and didn't know what to do, and helped them find their way. So that was a good thing that they all came together.
Yeah.
And because you know they cordoned off big, big area around there, and
They did.
a lot of the parents were outside in that area. Two of the dead were a mother and father waiting for the girl to come out, and mother and child, and so it was. My computer is really going to act up tonight. Very sad. It was even one of that perished was a police officer there with her child. It could happen anywhere. That's what's scary. Anywhere. Any big event. Any mall. Any grocery store where there could be mass casualties. This weekend, people have to be on alert because this is a big weekend.
Why?
Yep, absolutely.
I don't
Holiday
understand.
weekends. Yeah.
I don't understand why so many people don't understand and just go along and take up for this kind of stuff when it happens and don't have any blame or this or that. It just boggles my mind. Not just the extremist Muslim terror attacks, but everything else too that we have in the world, all the other horrible murders and mess we have, and people blow it off. Liberals blow it off.
It's me that the mainstream media over in the UK said, well, I guess this is the new normal. We have to just live it. No, you don't have to live with it. Get up, fight, and do something about it. Something about it.
Exactly.
But Amy is watching. Hey, Amy. She said the thing is that they want to use a scare tactic, which is fear porn. It's their culture. They hate women. We just can't feed into it. And Israel isn't perfect like no other country. The mainstream media doesn't give the whole story. And Ramadan is coming up this week.
Oh, man. I had forgot about that.
When is that supposed to start?
Ramadan? Let me look that up.
Is it a week? 10? I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Going back to what Amy said, she was talking about how they hate women, they hate kids, they hate, these men really take over that sect and regards to Sharia law, and they want to change their ways from their country to the country they're in. So, if they're in America, they want Sharia law in America. And there should be laws held, not just put in the books, but upheld that forbid that. There are certain things that America shouldn't allow to happen, even in the light of free religion.
Exactly.
They should not. There are things that should be held higher than allowing the men to beat their wives to a pulp just because they want to.
And kill their daughter. Wore a miniskirt in school. What? It's just.
And in Islam, the women I hear now, they can choose whether they want to wear the habib.
Burqa.
And they can choose whether they want to or not. They choose to wear it. Mostly, I'm sure, because they're scared to death of their husbands.
They've been brainwashed.
Already been changed.
Yeah,
But
actually, Ramadan begins today at sundown. Today at sundown.
Mhm.
Yeah, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick.
well, that was just my thought that, okay, so we're going to allow them to come in and immigrate freely and practice their religion freely. But if they are on the more radical side and want to practice Sharia law, there still should be something in our statutes that say, yeah, you can practice Sharia law, but these in your law do not coincide with our law. And if you don't like it, then go back to your country.
Anything in my opinion, if they want to come to America, live in America, which, well, we know they do to take over America, but the moderates, you can practice your religion, but you cannot break our existing laws.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Go
that's
ahead.
where all this stuff is coming from.
this is America was created to get away from the rule of the king, basically, of the British monarchs. And we open up America for other citizens of different countries to come here and get away from their laws and get away from their culture and come over here to enjoy our customs and culture. Don't bring your laws over here and expect us to obey by them.
Exactly. And that's what it's been for 1,500 years, is take over and inflict or make them what we want. In any country,
left-
every country.
Mhm.
I said,
The left would love nothing. Yeah,
go ahead.
the left would love nothing more than to have Sharia law over here. I mean, this is what they, and this is what they would want. They would want us to have Sharia law.
Yeah, which I don't understand, because isn't the left supposed to be pro women? Because Sharia law is hella
Yeah.
anti-women.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah,
Beat your
let's see,
wife,
they're
you can
supposed to
rape,
be.
you can do whatever you want to women under Sharia law. I mean, they'd be stoned to death if they don't.
And the gay, the gay folks, my God, I don't care
Be
if you.
pro
I know.
house
I was
buildings.
just gonna say, a lot of those liberal leftists are lesbians. Well, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whole theory right there. If they want that, then they're dead. You know, in
Yep.
that light.
I personally don't care.
Building and
If
stoned to death.
mind your business,
It's supposed to be.
go through your
Well,
life,
yeah,
be
don't forget the left.
happy, but
The left is supposed to be. The
yeah,
left is supposed to be pro woman. Remember they were defending the women against Trump, that horrible sexist, misogynist Trump. He's horrible.
And going on Trump, I mean, okay, if Sharia law was implanted, Trump can grab anybody by the pussy then. so there you. I mean, here I think, and Amy said that Nikki, you are on point, and Nikki, you're right again, and she's leaving, so you're doing an amazing job. Keep it up. That's what Amy said. But here's what I like to see.
Thanks, Amy.
Here, do you know those museums that have people slavery and how it was in the slave times, and you can see what it was like to be a slave? They need to have a museum of see how it's like to live and educate these people how Sharia law works,
I
and
think
show.
they should.
Yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
I was saying they should do that. You know, they should take the what's her name, Waters,
Oh Lord.
and what's her name, and do some Sharia law on them and see how they like it. You know, they'll change their mind real quick. But that's the problem. Most of these people who are women who are stating, well, not even women, the liberals who are talking about all this stuff, walls of all. They have 6 homes and they're all guarded and they have guards and they don't let anybody into their world, and they've been in office for 20 years and they don't know anything anymore. They're living in the past.
Well, why don't we try and line up these liberal feminists and let them be female circumcised?
Now, speaking of female genital mutilation, that's been happening recently.
Mhm.
And it's been illegal since like the 90s, since maybe later than the 90s. It's been illegal for quite some time. And now
They still do it.
the lawyers for that case is arguing freedom of religion. I'm like, how is it freedom of religion if it's been illegal for quite some time?
Mhm.
It's only illegal for everybody else, but not for them, because that's their religion.
I think
Yeah.
everybody that goes to the next big liberal feminist rally or whatever, round them all up, take them and have them circumcised, or what, so to speak. And I don't mean that, literally, but how can you support these people when you're all pro-abortion, pro-women, men stink, men suck, blah blah blah?
Yeah, I don't get it either, Lel.
And you're still standing up for these people who do this.
Mm-hmm.
It just blows my mind.
Wanted to go back to something about Katy Perry for a minute. You know, Katy Perry says we need to coexist. There don't need to be barriers or borders. Okay, fine, Katy. I'll tell you what. You take them into your $18 million mansion, let them pitch a tent out on your front lawn. Why don't you coexist with them then? You got an $18 million mansion. It's probably got about 30, 40 rooms. You can accommodate a few people in there.
And not only that, tear down your wall, Katie, because I know there's probably a house. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, Mr. Open Borders. He's got a wall, and he's saying, oh, we need to set up walls. Tear down your wall and see what happens. Tear that wall down. These celebrities that's pro all of this would probably not take in a single refugee.
No. And did you all see the I don't remember what news channel it was, but it was on Facebook 6 or 8 weeks ago, a couple of months ago, maybe. Anyway, where the dude was out on the street asking people would they take in refugees, and they were all like, but he had a question he asked first, like about, what do you think about Muslim refugees? Oh, I think we should do, you're welcome, so blah blah. And then it was like, well, okay, well, we have a program going here, and would you take 2 or 3 and let them stay with you until they got on? I have a cat that hates people, or I don't know, I'd have to talk to my boyfriend. And nobody, all these liberals that were like, yeah, oh, I think it's a great. But then he said, okay, so we have this program. Can you do? Oh no, I couldn't. I don't have the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Christ.
Yeah,
And
they say they want to help, but when they get confronted and say, "Do you want to take him in?" They like, no, I don't think so.
no, not
Because
at
see,
my
here's the thing: not only the men has been radicalized, women has been radicalized, and even the children has been brought out to be radicalized.
house.
Yeah, they recently showed that picture of that 7-year-old with the strapped with the bomb all over, and it was really horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the kids don't understand or know enough and agree to do it,
Mm-hmm.
they'll put the bomb on them anyway
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and walk them out the street and blow them up.
Yeah.
Gee, it freaks me out so bad
Mm-hmm.
that people still can do this.
Mhm.
Well, I
Well,
think let's continue on with the news, and this is just breaking. I got this from @breaking911 on Twitter. Leading young Democrat and De Blasio, mayor of New York, De Blasio. I forgot his name. I know his last name is De Blasio. Admin employee Jacob Schwartz was arrested with thousands of kid porn images. Some contained 6-month-old babies, and this is and that was reported by the New York Post. Oh my God! Yeah.
who was it?
Let's see here. De Blasio's. Let me bring it back up. I just deleted it.
Oh, sorry.
Leading young Democrat Jacob Schwartz.
Jacob Schwartz. Why
S.
does that name sound familiar other than what's happening now?
He ain't leading now.
He's leading
He
his
gonna be
way to
somebody's.
prison.
He gonna be somebody's bitch.
Uh,
You
No,
Following
he
what-
can
really
ask
think they're
what
gonna take
children
kindly?
usually.
no, he's
They're not gonna take kindly to that kind of shit in prison. I guarantee.
Yeah,
no.
no. They'll deal with
There is honor among thieves
Mm-hmm.
to some extent.
Well, of course, don't forget, old Anthony Weiner was. I think we talked about that last week. Yeah, he's
Yeah, we
gonna be
did.
somebody's bitch, unless he
If
winds
he-
up dead. Like I say, they better not put him in Gen Pop.
Nah, he'll be secured. He'll be in
He'll
some
go to
white
some.
collar part.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He'll be in some luxury prison.
Yeah.
Okay, I got the article on New York Post. I'll read it. Leading young Democrat and Bill de Blasio is his name. Administration employee had a secret taste for sickening kiddie porn that involves baby girls as young as 6 months old. Court papers revealed on Friday. Jacob Schwartz, 29, was busted for allegedly keeping more than 3,000 disgusting images and 89 videos on his laptop after downloading the filth from the internet. This illegal smut shows young nude females between of 6 months and 16 engaging in sexual contact on an adult male, court papers say. Schwartz's father, labor lawyer, and Democratic insider Arthur Schwartz called his son's case a personal tragedy. I understand that these are serious charges, the elder Schwartz, who watched his son get arraigned in the Manhattan criminal court on Thursday night. He's already in therapy for this. Yeah, like therapy is going to help. Jacob Schwartz surrendered to the NYPD computer crimes investigators in Manhattan's 13th precinct on Thursday morning, sources say. He has been under investigation since March 29th, when he handed over his laptop and gave cops written permission to search it, court papers say. Jacob Schwartz is the president of the Manhattan Young Democrats and the Downstairs Region Vice President of the New York State Young Democrats. But his name and photo was scrubbed from both groups' websites after the Post broke the news of his arrest. A statement from the Manhattan Young Democrats says the organization was shocked by the alleged allegations against Schwartz and added that he was no longer a member of the board and an interim president is now in place. A photo posted last year on Twitter shows him posing with Robbie Mook, then campaign manager of Hillary Clinton's disastrous presidential campaign. Schwartz is an employee at a $66,360 a year computer programmer analysis in the City Department of Design and Construction, where he works on the Build It Back Hurricane Sandy recovery program. Schwartz was hired after working there as an intern in the fiscal year of 2015, record shows. De Blasio ignored questions about his arrest following a news conference in the Bronx, but a spokeswoman says that Schwartz has been terminated immediately and the agency is cooperating with investigators.
Oh, I should hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had better distance themselves from this guy because this is, for all the shit the Democrats do, this is the worst. This next to murder, this is the worst thing they can do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see here if there's anything else. According to his online biography, Schwartz got involved in politics at a young age, helping his father campaign for the Democratic district leader in Greenwich Village. The elder Schwartz served as New York counsel to Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders' failed campaign, and also campaign treasurer and law professor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and liberal activist Zyfer Trechout, where she challenged Andrew Cuomo for the 2014 National Democratic nomination. Arthur Schwartz had his own brush with the law in 2015 when he was busted removing hidden surveillance cameras trained at a front door of a $700 a month rent stabilized apartment occupied by a 93-year-old client battling her landlord. Prosecutors agreed to drop the felony grand larceny charges in exchange for Schwartz paying $720 in restitution. That's pretty much it.
Nothing but corrupt. Corrupt. Everybody's corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Most.
Yep.
He was charged with promoting a sexual performance by a child and possessing sexual performance by a child under 16, both felonies, and released on a $75,000 bail.
Man, they shouldn't have given him bail. I wouldn't have given that asshole bail.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I mean,
hell no
bail at all. And plus, $75,000 was nowhere near enough if they was going to do that way, give him bail.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely keep an eye on that story and see where that goes. But I think more and more of this child sex stuff is going to come out in the near future, because they round up so many pedophiles in the last couple of months. They round up like over 400 and 900 and 500. And it's just, I mean, this pedophile swamp is going to get it deeper and deeper.
Well, the damn, the left is trying to say that it's a natural thing and they shouldn't be prosecuted, persecuted, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it and heard it a number of times in the last, I don't know, year or whatever.
Yeah, I've been hearing that too, that they're trying to promote pedophilia as something normal, which is absolutely disgusting.
It is absolutely disgusting, and it is not.
It's not normal.
No, you can't do that to a child. My God.
Well, hell, look at Roman Polanski, the director of Rosemary's Baby. He was Sharon Tate's husband. He's in a foreign country where there's no extradition laws because of his pedophilia tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sick dude too. And freaking Hollywood supports him, and they applaud Roman. They applaud that perverted piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely horrible. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just not, it's just a deeper swamp that's slowly arising from the depths. But
Freaking
I think
swamp
that's
creatures, man, I'm telling you.
yeah, exactly. But let's continue on with last week we discussed Seth Rich, and I felt that maybe we didn't discuss it accurately enough. So I went on ahead and looked up the timeline from Seth Rich's murder, and this is from Medium.com, and they did a timeline going back, way back to his birth. But I just want to focus on the murder itself. So Sunday, July 10th, this is the date that he was murdered on. And so I'll read the bullet points. Note, by this date, WikiLeaks has not leaked any emails having to do with the 2016 election and has been largely out of the news. WikiLeaks does not become a big player in the election until it releases the DNC emails on July 22nd, which is 12 days from that date. So at 4:20, officers report beginning of an incident with Seth Rich. At 5:57, Seth Rich was pronounced dead by an unknown physician at an unknown hospital. So that right there is really, really sketchy to me. I mean, if someone dies on that death certificate, it has to, and if it was at a hospital, it has to have a physician name on there and a hospital name on that. So that right there is really suspicious. But
Yes.
at 7:10, this police report was filed, and CIC, I don't know what that stands for, reports the sound of gunshots at 2134th Flagger Place Northwest. Upon arriving to the scene, the descendant was laying in the southwest corridor of the intersection of West Street and Flagger Place Northwest. The descendant was conscious and breathing with an apparent gunshot wounds to the back. The descendant was transported to a local area hospital and was pronounced dead by the attending physician at 0557 hours. Responding office listed as Jody O'Leary. Assisting officers listed as Robert Wingate Robinson. Derek Char, and okay, that's just the officers at the scene. This is what his parents recount. Seth was walking home, talking to his girlfriend on his cell phone. He was about a block from his place when his girlfriend heard voices. When his girlfriend heard voices, something in the background. Seth said he had to go. 2 minutes later, he was shot. And so what Seth Rich was, he was a DNC operative or a player in the whole. All right, Nikki, if you need to go, you can go. Before you leave, Nikki, what's your take on the Seth Rich, if you've heard of any of Seth Rich and the whole story?
I think
Take
he
care,
was
Nikki.
doing it. I think he was totally doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Information. I think he knew how corrupt everything was, and he was just filtering that stuff as fast as he could.
Mm-hmm.
And before he could stop and get out of Dodge, they caught him.
Yeah.
I believe it. I mean, I don't have any proof. Nobody has
Mm-hmm.
the proof, and nobody will have the proof. But it makes sense. I mean,
mm-hmm.
you know, so who knows? Maybe I'm totally wrong, but there are just too many deaths under Clinton that,
Mm-hmm.
that something's weird, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, a lot.
Well,
I mean, the official story was that it was a robbery gone wrong.
Yeah, but they didn't take nothing. They didn't
But he
take
didn't
his
take anything.
watch,
Exactly.
They didn't take his wallet. They didn't take
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
That was just
Yeah, if it was
murder. Just because
if it was supposed to be a robbery, yeah. We talked about it last week.
who he
Well,
was and
usually
what
when
he
you rob
was,
somebody, you
he
take something
got
from them.
paid off, and that's the end of that. It got wiped off because the Clintons owned everything at that time.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, this guy was involved with the Clintons, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Clinton body count, I mean, is just racking up, and he's just one of that. And I absolutely believe somebody.
But there isn't going to be anybody in any kind of authority that can ever go back and hold her responsible, because there will be nothing that leads back directly to her. Yeah. So it's gone. That's the past. We need to focus on the future. Be grateful that she didn't make it into office.
Thank you.
And hope her daughter doesn't have anything to do with the future. And
yes,
move on. So
Maybe
that's my take.
maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the president has not pursued anything against Hillary. Maybe that's why he has encouraged Jeff Sessions to pursue Hillary. You know,
he'll have his own reasons, and I mean, I'm sure she's got ties all over, so he knows when to leave things alone. He's a smart man, and he says things without thinking, and that's his downfall. But he knows a lot, and he knows when to push buttons and when to leave it alone. And he got the office, and now he's just going to leave it alone, you know, because look what he's dealing with right now. And that's just the media.
Yeah, and plus he's got a lot on his plate to do any try to prosecute anything. If it was me, I would wait until this Russia investigation clears first, then go after Hillary.
Yeah, he needs to clear all that. He needs to get the reforms done and take care of it, all that. And
that's if he goes after Hillary at all, which he might not, or he might not encourage Jeff Sessions to do so.
Yeah,
but Hillary's crime list is just going to keep stacking up the longer Trump waits.
Well, every time anybody gets close, there'll be another one added. I guarantee you.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys, have a good rest of the show. I gotta go.
All right, see you, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
But what I'll do is I'll post the whole timeline in the description below, and then people can read it. So transitioning to Trump.
And what happens is,
go ahead.
I was going to say what happens is a lot of conservatives, they get pissed off. They're like, he's got to go after Hillary. He's got to go after Hillary. No, he doesn't.
He doesn't have to.
Why?
Hillary's going to hang herself.
Yeah, someone's going to come back and haunt Hillary.
Yeah, in the long run. And he can still go after Hillary at any time. But if he takes care of the more important things at the moment, yes, we all want her in prison. But if he goes after, if he's working on health care and the military, and and tax reform and getting America better, and just bide his time, the more and more is going to come out about Hillary. And what's the difference if she goes to jail tomorrow or in 5 years?
Yeah.
As long as she goes and she doesn't have power to screw up more, you know.
Well, even if he doesn't go down that avenue, that does not mean that people can be pissed off at him for that. I'm not pissed off at him about that. He's got too much on his plate as it is.
There's a hell of a lot more that's important than Hillary.
But speaking of Trump, all this week he's been across seas for his foreign trip in Saudi Arabia. He was in Italy. He was in Rome. He was in Jerusalem. He was everywhere, and he's still.
I believe he's wrapping it up. I think he's wrapped it up today. I believe.
Yeah, I think so. It's either today or tomorrow. I think that G7 summit was the last thing he was going to do. But so let's start with his first trip to Saudi Arabia, and he met with King Solomon. and he did a excellent speech about radical Islam. And I mean Saudi Arabia is the heart and center of radical Islam. And he did a speech and saying, "You guys need to do better. We need to crack down on radical Islam and all that." I mean, it was an excellent speech. You can see that speech on the White House YouTube page. And something came up while he was in Saudi Arabia, and there was this picture of him bowing to the king, which he wasn't bowing. He was accepting an award from the king, which people took the photo out of context. I mean,
he was curtsying. He was curtsying. He was also, I mean, Trump's a tall guy. He had to get down a little bit for them to put the medal on his neck.
Yeah. I mean, the king was like only a few. I mean, at least he's not like Obama and shook his hand and bowed while he shook his hand. I mean, as soon as he came off that plane, he did the Trump handshake and shook that man's hand. But they should have done that picture better. I mean, now they can use that picture probably against him. And it was a bad photo. I mean, they should have had the king stand on a stool or something to put the award on him. But it is what it is, and he was never bowing to the king. He was just accepting an award. There was another photo that was circulating the internet. The orb of mystery. Which was, I have no clue what that orb was.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, let me see if I got it. Henry, did you see the orb?
It's one of Matthew Johnson's orbs. That's what it is.
Yeah, you touched that, and a whole bunch of squatches would come out of nowhere.
Well, I was gonna say I do believe in orbs, but every orb in a picture is not.
Let's see here. Can you see that? Yes, no, maybe. Too bright. Let me put the brightness down a little bit.
Yeah, way too bright for the screen. Yeah.
You know, it could be a camera flash, a bug, dust. You know, but some are authentic, but not all.
It could be just dust.
Exactly.
Dust can make all kinds of interesting patterns, especially when you take a picture.
Pull a Kleenex out of a box and then take 5 pictures real quick and see how many orbs you have. But sometimes orbs are really something. I could probably look it up, Shane.
Yeah, if you want to. Try to. Okay, here we go. Display. Brightness.
I did see the pictures in Israel and Trump at the wall, and I thought that was all very good. And the liberals are making.
All right, let's see here. How about now?
Still a little bit. Way too bright. You can't screen share a picture?
Yeah, I can screen share if I can find it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I can look it up myself.
That's just way too freaking bright. Hey, I mean, I know you turn the brightness down, but it just doesn't transfer very well.
It looked like a Bigfoot in the woods at night on a thermal. Maybe not exactly.
You know, they actually had a late night marathon to finding Bigfoot last night. It was pretty good. They had the Minnesota episode on with Abe Del Rio.
I actually had my TV.
It.
I had the TV in the bedroom on that all night, and I slept and.
Okay, here's the
saw it.
Okay.
There's the orb photo.
Oh, that's the orb. Oh, it's like a real lit up.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was an orb like in the back of the picture. Like an
No,
orb.
this is a real orb. Yeah. So I
Oh,
was. Yeah, go ahead.
well, that's a good picture, I guess.
That reminds me of you ever seen those? You ever seen those machines? You touch them and they have a little bit of
Oh
electricity in
yeah,
them,
the electricity
and they
thing, and
make
you
your
make your
hair
hair
stand
go
up.
stand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
I have one. I have an electrostorm.
Those are cool.
We had me and an old boyfriend. We had one years back in the early 90s, and I got my son one several years ago. For Christmas, I have a lava lamp on one side, and then I have the electrostorm on the other side. And yeah, if you put your hands on it, the lights inside will draw to your hands.
Oh, that is awesome. But yeah, so apparently that whole
Or
place where it was taken at was at a center where the Saudi Arabians can monitor Facebook, Twitter, anything on the internet that deals with Islamic extremism, and into the wrong hands, this could be a seriously privacy issue. Privacy issue. I mean, right now, I'm sure we're being watched some way, somehow, discussing this. I mean, there's no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's why I try never to do or say anything that I don't really feel or mean, and I am careful also.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe not sometimes.
Now,
I do
there
have,
were a couple of times where
yeah.
Melania supposedly slapped Trump's hand away or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that, and it didn't even look like she slapped his hand away. I mean, it looked like they was holding hands and they, released, or it looks like there was walking and the hands just simultaneously met together.
Mm-hmm.
Or let go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what in the heck? What does that matter?
That's just the mainstream media. I mean, they try to do anything.
I know. What the heck does it matter? I've walked with my husband 20 years, held hands, quit holding hands, held hands again, quit. I go this way, he goes that way. What the heck?
I mean, it's gotten so bad that people has been throwing around that Melania is very unhappy and she's looking for a divorce. That's that bad. It's that bad, which is
Oh,
ridiculous. But so after he met with King Solomon and did his great speech, he went to the Great Wall, and
yeah.
great powerful imagery. And there was a photo with Trump touching the wall, and it was just powerful. And he
It
did
was.
his epic speech too. I mean, he did quite a few speeches, and this is the best I've seen with President Trump so far. With for him it being his first foreign trip.
And then there was that one clip where he's pushing somebody out of his way, or he appears to be pushing someone.
Oh my God! Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, he just went up behind the guy and just shook his hand and pat him on the back, and they thought, oh, he pushed him out of the way. Let's see.
Grasping at straws.
Yeah, absolutely. They trying to
Yep.
like, stay relevant.
How many people actually believe anything the fake news media says anymore?
Very. If I had to guess, very slim.
Mm-hmm.
But there's these stupid
I
people
don't know.
that believes
The
it.
liberal, there are a lot of liberals who do
Mm-hmm.
believe it.
which is absolutely they're brainwashed into thinking that way.
So sad.
Yeah. Yep. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Oh, and the candidate in Montana that was running for a House seat, the one that allegedly committed assault,
Yeah.
even though there's only audio, no video,
Yeah.
actually won that seat. So, and Trump said,
Yeah. So
"Good
he
job,"
apparently body slammed this dude, this reporter, and
supposedly.
he won. Allegedly, a body slam. I didn't hear the audio. Did you hear the audio?
I did not hear the audio, but I bet audio is too easy to doctor anyway.
That and audio, it doesn't pick up everything, and you can also eliminate and, like you said, doctor. But he won the seat. He body slammed his opponent. He metaphorically body slammed his opponent.
But the thing is, even if he had body slammed the reporter was rude to him. He tried to break into the guy's office. The guy already answered the question.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm not taking any more questions. He was going into his office.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. A very good chunk of the American people hates the media.
Mm-hmm.
And they see the media as the enemy, and they see them as full of bullshit, full of lies, and full of everything else. If he did body slam this reporter, I think that right there helped them, because nobody likes the media at all. I still don't understand why they get view ratings and everything. They need it. People need to turn off CNN, turn off MSNBC, turn off all of that, and stick to alternative media.
I don't think he was. I don't think that this Greg Giancarlo, I think is his name. I don't think he was unprovoked. There had that reporter did something.
Mm-hmm. And maybe the reporter punted hand on him, and then he just defended himself.
Yeah,
because there's no video.
Unless we have video, which we don't.
Mm-hmm.
But unless we do, we don't know what actually happened.
Yeah.
Well, people running for any office of any kind are trying their best to appeal to the public, to the media, to whoever and everybody that's there. And I can't say that the reporter attacked him or hit him or grabbed him or whatever, but generally people in that circumstance do not attack people unless they have been provoked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
yeah,
if it did happen,
yeah, the reporter probably did ask for it, to be honest. But yeah, so this is the third or fourth election that the Dems have lost, and their whole anti-Trump and resist movement has been falling flat on their face. That's because the American people voted for Trump and they want him to succeed.
Exactly.
The majority of Americans voted for Trump and they wanted him to succeed. And I'm not counting the popular vote for Hillary Clinton, because the popular vote is rigged in her favor, because, California, New York does not make up the majority of Americans.
No. And remember, Mitt Romney won the popular vote, and the liberals had no problem with that. They took Obama and cheered. So now they have a problem.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And like a
go ahead and continue. I'm going to go ahead and close my door.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Greg Giancarlo, he won his seat despite. What's that? Crotch rocket. Yeah. There you go, Lale.
Yeah, crotch rocket.
Yeah.
I won't know Harley.
Yeah.
Sorry to
My
interrupt.
dad had Honda motorcycles for years. He had like a Gold Wing, and he had one before that that had kind of a blue gas tank on it. They were nice. They were nice motorcycles. He had a couple of nice ones.
We rode little dirt bikes of 100,000 miles. Little Yamahas and stuff.
Well, I know one guy who actually packed up all his stuff on a moped, rode all the way from Connecticut to Oregon on it.
Wow.
Yeah. Packed up, I mean, all his stuff on a moped, rode across country.
I have some moped stories, but I won't go into them.
All right, I got the door shut, so hopefully no crotch
Moped
rockets
show.
will be going by.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So he went to the NATO summit today, and he did, or maybe it was yesterday, probably. Time difference. And
I think it was yesterday. I'm not sure.
yeah, and he did the whole his NATO speech, which I thought was great. And he talked about the whole Manchester bombings, and he called the terrorists losers, and there was so big uproar about that because he called them losers. I mean, that's how Trump talks. So, and then plus they are losers.
Yeah.
If you ask,
I don't see anything wrong with him calling them that.
if you
Absolutely
ask,
not.
if you
I mean-
ask me, losers is a nice way to describe them compared to what
Yep.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Losers.
I mean, imagine if he, cussed about them.
Uh-huh. He was probably he was using a nice term. He I wouldn't say politically correct, but nice. He was
Exactly.
Presidential term.
yeah.
Because losers are way the hell better than these folks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, losers don't. Well, never mind. All right, y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
But,
ahead and say
but I
it.
mean, but listen, he has already addressed this as radical Islamic terrorism.
Mhm.
He said that in his State of the Union speech.
Exactly.
Acknowledges and recognizes what this is.
Mhm.
Unlike the previous administration, which basically would not even
brushed him
admit
off.
what this was.
Yeah, they brushed him off as a JV team, and they're way more than a JV team.
Yeah, referring to Obama. Yeah. But Trump knows the danger. Trump knows what's going on.
Mhm.
Well, Obama would have no problem with America becoming Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep. And he continues to be an agitator. I mean, he's been out of office since January. He just continues to be an agitator.
Yep,
Mhm.
he is.
Let's see here. Oh, he met with the Pope the other day as well, and
Oh, yeah.
and this is the first time they've met, and they had a little spat back during when he was candidate Trump, and basically the Pope said that anybody that wants a wall is unchristian-like, and responded, and Trump responded, "The Pope, how dare you criticize somebody else's religion?" And that's not what the Pope should do, is criticize people's religion. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Pope Francis. I mean, he's no Pope John Paul II.
No, he's not. This Pope is way too leftist. He's just way too leftist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for him either. He's just sit down and shut the hell up.
Hmm.
Don't poke. Don't. It's like you keep with your Catholics there, Mr. Pope, and condemn those Catholic priests that are molesting young boys.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a big deal, and that needs to be cracked down on. I mean, I haven't heard anything more about the whole priest pedophile thing because it's been quiet lately.
Yeah, for a while it's been quiet.
Mm-hmm.
He better be lucky that Trump didn't say that to him about the priest and the pedophile and the child molestation.
That that'd have been brutal. That would have been brutal.
The fake news media would have been all over Trump for that. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
and the Pope gave Trump a gift, which was a book about climate change. Okay.
Oh, Lord. Well, I'm sure Trump is just engrossed in that book tonight.
Let's see here. Where else has he went? I think we covered all the main stops that he went. He met with the Pope. He met with the King of Saudi Arabia. The NATO summit, G7 summit. So I think that's pretty much it in the week in Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been quiet since he's overseas, which, take that for what it's worth. It could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. But we'll find out when Trump gets back. And apparently Trump might be firing some people when he gets back.
Yeah, there's some news of I think they found out some information about some of these leakers.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. And
heads are about to roll.
And Trump's going to be on a warpath of firing people next week.
Heads are about to roll when he gets back.
And not only that, next week, June 1st, when he gets back, he does a rally. Rally. So he's gonna take let me see where though. Which he needs to do more often, I think. He needs to do like one every month. Or every other month. Because he needs to take to the base, take to the people, and rally them up and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm still in this for you guys. They haven't gotten me to be in the swamp yet."
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. All right, it's too quiet. Somebody talk.
Oh yeah, Shane is trying to find out where Trump's rally is going to be next Thursday.
All right, here it is. So, loading. I think it's going to be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I knew it was going to be somewhere in Iowa, but I didn't know where. So it's going to be in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a state that he won in the election, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Iowa. I mean, that is a major political hub. That state is, because they always have the Iowa straw polls and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to do the a monthly rally, and he needs to keep the base informed and say, hey, this and this is happening, and this is not happening because of this person.
I agree.
He needs to keep his base excited, because when 2020 rolls around and re-election is up, and they're going to judge his performance, and if he does extremely well, like I think he will be doing a second term.
I'll tell you one person who needs to be defeated in their district. That's Maxine Waters. Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. So I think some guy named Omar Navarro is.
Yes, Navarro.
Navarro is battling against Maxine Waters, and God, I hope to God he wins.
Here's the fun thing. I saw a video of a black woman. It was a black woman who was wearing a Trump Build the Wall shirt, and she was like, Maxine Waters has not done anything for this place, for this neighborhood for over 30 years. She's been up there. She hasn't done anything for us.
Yeah. Hopefully, Waters will lose. When's that the election that's coming up? Is that going to be next year? Or
I do not know. Probably. If it's the midterms, that's probably why he's running now. He wants to start now.
Yeah.
curve on the midterms because
You need to
midterms
go.
are next year. So
Yeah, midterms is going to be interesting to say the least. Because as of right now, I don't see anybody up for re-election.
mhm. You notice the impeachment talk has died down quite a bit too.
Yeah, we discussed that last week as well, and that's because they want to win re-election, I guess. And
They have no valid
no,
cause or reason. There is nothing. My
Nope.
goodness.
I
How in
mean,
the
even Nancy Pelosi said, knock it off with the impeachment talk.
I hate her.
yeah, I hate her.
I
too.
know, but this was one time where she actually said something that
Yeah.
made sense.
Well,
So,
That's the thing. That's the thing with these people. For
I just
every smart thing they say, they double it down for they have to say something stupid to follow that up.
that's what I was
Just like with Bill Maher. I mean, some points
oh,
he's spot on. The other, then he's like, oh God, I got to smoke some more weed and say something that's freaking stupid and insane. But
yeah, I don't like it either.
let's see here. I think that's pretty much it for Trump and This Week in Trump. Let's go ahead and get to the local news. Henry, you got any local news for us?
I'm bringing something up right now, and this is actually this is local, but it also has some implications as well. There's a representative here in Mississippi. His name is Carl Oliver.
Mhm.
Interesting Facebook post last weekend where he said that any leader in Louisiana taking down the Confederate monuments lynched. And I mean, there was the big uproar because he must have been talking about blacks.
Mhm.
The thing is, there's white Louisiana leaders too.
Mhm.
Put the post down. He apologized for it. I agree with that. I don't agree. I don't think he should have apologized. If you're going to say something, stand behind it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I hate too. I mean, that's basically like self-censorship. You say what you want, and then somebody gets offended, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't say that." And I'm sorry to say that, but go ahead, Henry.
Anyway, one of our local congressmen, and unfortunately, the representative from my district, Benny Thompson. Oh, I can't stand this SOB. Says that he's calling for a Department of Justice review of this the Facebook post. Thompson, you can go screw yourself, Benny Thompson. Reads, since experiencing a fiery backlash from his suggestion to lynch Louisiana leadership over their success in removing Confederate statues from the city of New Orleans, Representative Carl Oliver has since apologized, deleted his Facebook account, and has been stripped of his vice chairmanship of the State Forestry Commission. The Mississippi Legislative Black Caucus, among other groups, have called for the representative to resign from his seat in the House. Now, a new call coming from Washington. Benny Thompson is requesting a federal investigation into the Facebook post made by State Representative this past. In the congressman's statement, he calls Oliver's language an immediate threat and a recommendation of violence. Well, okay, maybe some of it is. I mean, it's strong words, but I don't think it's any more strong than anything any leftist would say.
Do you have a copy of that Facebook post that was posted? Was it in the article, or was it taken down before they did that article?
Shane, I'll send you the link after the show, and you can.
Yeah, I like to read that.
Or I'll send you a link to this article. Scroll back up here. This page is loading. This page is taking forever to load here.
Mhm.
Okay, here is Congressman Thompson's full statement. The recent Facebook post made by Carl Oliver was dangerous. As an elected official in Mississippi, he should have been aware of the harm that can result from the post, said Thompson. People who are opposed to symbols commemorating the treasonous acts of the Confederate States of America should be lynched is deeply disturbing. This type of hate speech is extremely perilous and could inspire others to commit criminal acts. We should be reminded that less than 2 years have passed since 9 African American church members were murdered by a radicalized individual who swore allegiance to the Confederate flag, and we are 3 years removed from a group of college students placing a noose to the Confederate flag on a statue of civil rights icon James Meredith. People didn't learn to hate on their own. They were inspired by people like Mr. Oliver, who seek to indoctrinate others with vile speech. Department of Justice officials review the comments made by Mr. Oliver to determine if his recommendation of violence constitutes an immediate threat to individuals who are committed to removing tributes to the Confederacy from our public spaces. This was, all right, yeah, I do have, okay, they do quote, there is a quote. This is quoting the post itself.
Mm-hmm.
Representative Oliver stands in his post. The destruction of these monuments, erected in the loving memory of our family and fellow Southern Americans, is both heinous and horrific. If the, and I use this term extremely loosely, leadership of Louisiana wishes to, in a Nazi-ish fashion, burn books or destroy historical monuments of our history, they should be lynched. Let it be known. I will do all in my power to prevent this from happening in our state. Oliver, a Republican, represents District 46, comprised of Carroll, Grenada, LaFleur, Montgomery, and Webster counties. It's important to note that Money, Mississippi falls under his constituency. Money is the town in which the brutal murder and lynching of 14-year-old Emmett Till occurred 62 years ago. Mississippi Republican Party Chairman Joe Nosef condemned the comments. Comments were offensive, do not represent the Mississippi Republican Party, and have no place in our public discourse. I hope he will quickly clear up his remarks to make his point without these inappropriate comments. The post has since been deleted. According to Meg Anderson, spokesperson for Speaker of the House Philip Gunn, Representative Oliver has been stripped of his vice chairmanship for the Forestry Committee. News Mississippi has reached out to Representative Carl Oliver and is awaiting a response. So, I mean, you could construe it as a threat. Anything can be construed as a threat.
The only thing that I had a problem with was that he should have used a different word than lynch.
Yeah.
Other than that, his post was right on target.
I agree. That was not a good word. Yeah, I agree with you, Shane.
Well,
but yeah, go ahead, Henry.
In theory, I agree, but also, I mean, but look at the look at Obama. Look how much hate he inspired.
Yeah.
You know, those individuals to riot in Ferguson, riot in Baltimore, riot in his place and that place. He talked about, you know, he encouraged his supporters to use violence if necessary.
Yes, he did.
If they're going to go after this representative for this kind of language, then why didn't they go after Obama? Why didn't these same...
Or anybody in the Obama administration, to be honest with you. I mean, you had that one woman that said there needs to be blood in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so I actually posted a Facebook post on my Facebook page and said basically that should we destroy the pyramids of Egypt because they were built by slaves? Absolutely not. Because the pyramids basically were built by the slaves of Egypt because the Egypt king or queen or whatever forced them into labor into building the pharaohs forced them into building these monuments in Egypt, and that right there is slavery. But yeah, so basically what they are doing with the Confederate monuments and stuff is that they're erasing history. They're erasing history, and proof for that is that I posted an article stating that a Confederate museum closed on the 1st because they can't do the Confederate flag anymore because that's been banned.
Yes, I
They're
saw
erasing
that.
history.
Yep.
Well, that's like my niece just graduated from high school this past Saturday, and she's among the last graduates from Cleveland High School here in Cleveland, Mississippi, as we know it. It's going to change over to Cleveland Central High School in the fall. That school has been there for over 111 years. Since 1906. And because of a lawsuit filed by a few black people saying we got to have integration in the schools, which there already was, there were already black students attending the junior high and the high school and the elementary schools. And because of an Obama appointed federal judge who actually legislated from the bench and said this law and decided that this lawsuit had merit, go through. Now, the 111-year-old history of this high school is going to be changed. Their school colors are going to be changed. The thing is, any black student that did not attend the high school or over here side of town, they had their own high school on the east side of town called East Side. Now East Side is being turned into the middle school. High school campus is going to be what used to be Margaret Green Junior High and Cleveland High School. That's going to be Cleveland Central High School. There was really no need for that. There's no need for that kind of integration because black students were already going to that school.
Yeah. Plus, this is not the '60s. Segregation is not around anymore. Even though the Democrats is trying to push it and have segregated college campuses and dorm rooms and all that other crap.
Yeah, you mean integrated? Because segregated means they're separate.
No, I meant segregated.
Integration is when they put them together.
Put them together, and segregation is when they separate. Yeah, I meant segregation.
Yeah. Well, the Democrats want to put them all together.
No, not in these college campuses. One college campus has actually wanted to have different dorm rooms and segregate dorm rooms. Yeah.
I was going to say, I saw that recently that there are a few at this time places where the blacks want to have their own, so therefore they are segregating themselves again now after they, fought so hard to be integrated and have been, and everything had been fine until the last 10 years or whatever. Well, I don't know if it had been fine to them, but anyway, they're wanting to segregate themselves again now in a few places.
Yeah. I mean, the left is promoting this. On campus reform is.
I hope people don't misunderstand. I hope people don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that blacks and whites should not go to school together. That's not what I'm saying. Blacks and whites have been going to these schools for years, and they've had no problems at all. They've always gotten along. What I'm saying is that we don't need to have an overwhelming majority. We don't need to be changing histories of schools. We don't need to be changing the high school in the name of we must integrate everybody. That's what they're doing, and that is what drives me up the wall.
Well,
that they're changing 100-year history of a school.
The thing that we have had here where I live through the years, and it's a rural area, um, it, well, I was born in 66. I started school in, I guess, 71. And it was always integrated. But
Mhm.
they wanted to consolidate the schools,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't consolidating the schools was not going to integrate or separate anybody more or less than they were already. It was just going to take a freight load of children, and instead of riding 10, 20 minutes on the bus, they'd be riding 45 minutes on the bus.
Yeah.
You know, and
Consolidation. That's what they're doing with these schools up here. It's a consolidation.
and that's okay if it works in the best interest of everybody. But my daddy fought the consolidation in the 60s because my older sisters rode 10 minutes on the school bus to school. And if they consolidated, they'd be riding 40 minutes. And there wasn't going to be any less black or white, or it was already that way anyhow. And they just wanted their children to be closer to home, you know, and in smaller schools. And we all know smaller schools better academically in some senses, you know.
Well, the thing is,
For an example
attended.
For an example of the
segregation
schools of colleges' dorms, this is from the Daily Caller, and they said Fancy Pants Hampshire College in Amherst, Massachusetts, is fighting racism by allowing students to segregate themselves by race and sexuality in neo-Jim Crow dorms. Basically, they want separate dorms for identity. They call them identity-based housing communities, which is code for separation. But I'll post the article in the description below, and anybody can read that. But that was just one example of college dorm segregating. But go ahead, Henry.
Well, I mean, generations attended these schools. We're talking over 100 years. Do you realize that the principal, one of the former principals of the school, when my mother was attending school there, attended the graduation? He was there. And he must be in his 80s by now. But he was at the graduation, and I'm sure he wasn't too happy. He's not too happy about this stuff. And see, it's always the voices of a few that ride the majority of everything.
Exactly.
The people, they need to start speaking up. The silent majority no longer has to stay silent anymore. But go ahead, Hillel.
But the best interest of all should be taken into account. Yes, we want the best interest of the few to be dealt with and to be, we want the best interest for every kid or every adult. But at the same time, the majority, that's what democracy is. The majority should rule, and without it's just gotten where now this squeaky wheel gets greased and everybody else is left to conform to 0.5 of the population. and that's not right. I want them to be treated well, but at the same time, everybody has to be happy too. You know what I mean.
Yeah. But let me go on with my local news, and this has to deal with a Veterans Memorial. And I figured that since Memorial Day is Monday, this would be a great article to share. A Korean War veteran upgrading Veterans Memorial in Bluefield. Korean War veteran Arnold Yost said that he has been working on upgrading the Veterans Memorial in Bluefield, West Virginia since 2013. Served in the Army from 1952 until 1961. He said he's put about 1,500 hours of work to enhance the memorial. Yost said, "It personally means to me that the love I have for the United States of America and to our veterans who served and gave their life and sacrifice and left their families and home and went to foreign land to sacrifice their life for each and every one of us." Yost is with the Veterans of Foreign Wars post in Bluefield, Virginia. They've added titles that the people purchase with the names of veterans on the wall. Right now, there are about 250 tiles, and the area holds about 1,100. It costs $50 per tile. Yost said it's a tribute to all the veterans that served their country and gave their life for their country. And those that didn't die, they came back, and it's still for them and their families. Vietnam War veteran Wesley Dixon has his name displayed on the tile. Dixon said, "Me as a retired veteran, it makes me proud. Anyone in the community can come by and take a look at it, and they should be proud." Yost said that the repairs have been made thanks to a $30,000 grant from the Schott Foundation. Yost hopes that the repairs will be finished in 2 years. If you'd like to purchase a tile for a veteran, you can call the town of Bluefield, Virginia. And here is a photo. And it looks like way too bright.
I can basically tell what was in it.
Boom.
Yeah, that's
Right,
cool.
there we go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see it a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And, we want to say thank you to all the veterans, who served. The ones, Billy Ray Cyrus had a great song, "Some Gave All," and some did give all. All gave some as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's going to do it for tonight on Not Mainstream. Anything else you can think of? Any last words? Any last thoughts?
Well,
No.
hopefully, when the president gets back to DC, heads are going to start rolling as far as the whole leaking thing.
Absolutely. So I say by this time next week, we'll probably have a list of people that he fired. But so on that note, before I end this, I just want to say thanks. If anybody's watching from the military, thanks for your service. If anybody has any military family, thanks for their service. And thoughts and prayers goes out to any military personnel that's overseas right now. And thoughts and prayers also goes out to the family of the military. And on that note, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, thank you all for your service.
Yes.
We don't deserve it, but we sure appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
And Henry, you want to say anything?
Well, again, I come from a military family, so I'm very thankful, very supportive of all the veterans. I had relatives that served, so thank them for their service, and some of them are no longer with us, but I'm just thankful for them, the sacrifices they made, So
when we never imagine the sacrifices they made, and we need to be so thankful.
And on that note, God bless America. God bless President Donald J. Trump. And everybody that's watching, have a safe and happy Memorial Day. Good night, everybody.
Yes.